Welcome guys to another episode of Survival Minecraft on the SMP server World of Solitude. And in this episode, we are going to be building a mob farm. We need to be able to get ourselves some gunpowder to be able to make rockets because we're starting to run low on rockets. Our bone production is pretty low, and wouldn't hurt to be able to get some string from any of the spiders we could get, as well as some rotten flesh that we could be trading with our villagers. So we're going to be building a mob grinder right here in our dome. So sit back, relax, and let's jump into it. Okay, so first things first here is I have cleared a little spot here beside the dome. If you look over this way here, we can see our villager breeders right here. The auto sorter is right there. So I've just cleared up a little spot here, and then like the villager trading post is just down over on this side over here. And all the way up at the top there is I have actually already punched through the wall up there to be able, or the dome up there, because the AFK point needs to be 120 blocks off the ground level here. That way it prevents any mobs from spawning in the dome here. So, or any, if there's any cave systems or anything like that that's underground here, it just protects that area. So first things first here is we need to get set up with a collection system. And so I'm going to set up a 5x5 square here of some hoppers and have them just load into a chest to get things started with. And then we will be able to start building up this mob farm. So just bear with me here while I grab some hoppers and get this all in. Okay, so the first things here, we're going to grab some of these hoppers, and I'm just going to kind of run back here. I'm pretty sure I've got this centered with our little access port up there, but it'll be pretty close. So I think this one here might actually be, if I look up, nope, we're not quite centered. Let's put this one in, look up again. That one there is pretty close to center. So we're going to just come back 2 more on this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this is how big of a collection point we need here. And we're just going to come back this way with 2 more. And so we have a 5x5 square here that's like a drop point for anything that's going to be falling down here. And as you can see, because we've got a hole in our dome up there, I am getting rain, and it actually looks like I am not quite centered. So we're going to come back 1 more and feed these in like so. Feed this out, and then I'm just going to bust these ones off because now we're centered. It's actually good that the rain did come there, so we were able to get this all lined up exactly where we wanted it. Kind of cleared off this spot. I was just kind of hopped in, started cutting down some trees until I got to a point where it was cleared out enough, and I think we did a pretty good job of getting things all squared up here. So now from here, we actually need to grab some, we're going to grab some stone blocks here. And we'll unload some of this other stuff that I've got here. I just need a chest here that we can unload this into. I did kind of run through and just started, getting some stuff pre-prepped here. So, okay, so we got rid of that. Let's grab some stone. And first things first is we need to go up 30 blocks. So we're going to do that right now, starting with this one right here. And so that's the first one, and then we're going up 30. So now that we've climbed up here 30 blocks, we need to build out a platform up here. And so I just started making this out here. These blocks will end up having to get kind of busted out of here in a few seconds, but we're just going to come out. This is our 5x5 square that we've got down on the bottom. Now we're going to come out around this 1 more time all the way around, and that kind of marks out the outside edge that we're going to be using for pushing the mobs in to create our drop point. So we've come out here 5x5. So the total outside edge of this is a 7x7 square, and we're going to bust out these center ones here. And the other thing that we're going to need to do is eventually we're going to have to eliminate that pole that's in the center there, but we can kind of do that as we move along here. But for now, I'm going to keep a little edge here because we're going to be building up some stuff here in the center. And so we want to make sure that we keep the center spot here so that we can easily climb along, because we are building this in survival and we don't want to end up taking a dive and landing on that platform and then all of our stuff ends up in that chest, because that's for the mobs, not for us. So now we need to come out 8 blocks from including this one. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We have to do that out on each side and then fill that in as a full square out here. And so just bear with me while we get that all. It's going to be on all sides. So we are 8 blocks, including the one that we've got from our little frame here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then on the last one here, you're going to come out one more and come up as a wall point there. So we've got that all squared away. And yeah, you notice 8 blocks. That's a water flow source. That's why it's 8 blocks, is because we want our water flow to stop here, which will end up pushing mobs into the pit here and dropping them to their doom. So I'm going to get this platform all done up and then we'll be right back. Okay, so now I've got the platform all done here, and we came out 8 blocks. We do have to add another layer of blocks on top of this, so I'm just going to quickly crank out these, and then we have to kind of tier out the water, because obviously if I was to put a water source here, this is much further distance it's got to travel than what it's capable of doing. So we've got to get this all lined up, and to do that we could just start it over at this point here. Just basically come out 7 blocks, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and then just taper it in the corner here like so. There. Now this, when we put a water source here, because it's 7 blocks out, it'll flow to here, drop down, and flow out, and it'll be able to get this whole thing. So we put a water source in that corner, a row of water sources here, water source in that corner, so on and so forth, and then it forces all of the water to flow into the center here. So I'm just going to get this all laid out, and then we can build on to the actual mob spawn tiers. Okay, so we have got basically the drop platform all set up here. So any mobs that fall into here, they drop into this and start flowing in towards this drop point and end up falling to their doom on the platform down below. So that is all kind of set up and ready to go. I think what I will end up doing, just to make sure that no materials or anything kind of fall outside that platform, is I may build up a glass column that kind of goes up and connects to the bottom of this. I think it'll be a good little fit to make sure that, you know, nothing gets lost when it's dropped down and spills out over the edge. So now it's time to actually build the platforms that the mobs are going to be spawning on and dropping onto here. So to start off, you go to the center one and you want to jump up. You want to go up 2 full blocks with it. So I'm just going to grab some blocks here, and we're going to come up to 1, 2, and then we are going to grab a dispenser, and we are going to throw a dispenser right there. So this dispenser will end up looking after any liquid, or we're going to throw water in there, and it's going to force all of the mobs off of the platform into the drop points and be able to drop down. Then the next thing you need to do is we need to go out from this centerpiece out 7 blocks out each side. So to do that, we're going to use some half slabs for this. So I'm just going to grab, I've got a whole bunch of them in my inventory here to get set up for however many layers of this we want to do. So we're going to come out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We're going to do that on all 4 sides. So we'll come out here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. Now we've got to fill this in. And you're going to fill it in to make them diagonal boxes up here. So we're just going to fill up to that edge, just like so. And these are your spawn platforms that the mobs are going to be on. This is where they're all going to be spawning on here, and then the water pops up out of the dispenser, and it ends up flowing and pushing the mobs off to this edge, and then the water that's down here pushes the mobs into the center to drop to the center. So now we're going to go through, I'm going to get this layer all completely built out, and then I'll show you how to add additional layers to this. So bear with while we get this taken care of. Okay, so I've got this platform completely done, and to verify that you've got it all working the way you're supposed to, go ahead and throw a source block down on the center here. And if you go and look at these edges, your water just flows up to the edge and doesn't end up going over the side, which is perfect. So then we can go ahead and get rid of that source. And then inside here, we're going to throw a full water canister inside this one dispenser. Now it's time to get ready for the next layer up. So grab 2 blocks like so, jump up, put one there, and then we're going to grab another dispenser. So we're going to throw this dispenser right here like so. And now what we need to do is we need to bust out these blocks like that. And then on the bottom side of this, we need to throw in an observer that's looking up. So we're just going to sit here underneath here. We're going to click on that. And if you look, the arrow is pointing down. If you could get down low enough and actually look up on this thing, you would see the red dot there, and the face is on the surface of this one. So this observer is keeping an eye on this box here, and it will activate this dispenser here. So it will see this dispenser get activated, and then it will send a redstone signal down to this one and tell this one to activate. So, and of course, that updates as these blocks end up changing. So next, we need to, unfortunately, we're going to hop back up here a little bit because we need to get back up to this level. So let's just grab our half slabs, and we're just going to go click to the side of that one there, this one here, and then this one here. Now we've got to get back up on top of this. So grab our regular blocks and jump up. 1, 2, we're up top. Bust out these ones because you're not going to need these blocks here anymore. And now we've got to go and expand out this entire platform again, just like we had done on the bottom one. So I will get this one out. What I'm going to do now is I will probably go through and get like 4 or 5 of these platforms done. It should be enough for as many mobs as I'm going to need. I think it'll end up being enough of a spawn platform. I'm not going to go crazy on it. I just want to be able to keep myself in some gunpowder and get a little bit more bones and stuff, and that's going to be about it. So bear with me while I get the rest of these platforms in place. Okay, so once you have your spawn platforms all in place, the next thing you need to do is we need to put a roof on this so that it is completely dark in there, because we can't have any light spawn available on here. So to be able to put a roof up on this, we need to go out 15 blocks on this one. So from the center observer slash dispenser system that's here, we're going out 15 blocks, and then we're going to completely fill it in. And then that way, this is going to be completely capped and ready for our mobs to be able to be spawning down there. So I'm going to get this roof in, and then the next phase will be actually putting in the redstone that's going to be triggering this and making this clock function. There's a long delayed redstone clock that gets put on the top of this that actually runs this whole system. So we are just going to get in there. How many platforms did I end up doing? It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spawning platforms we did in total, which I think will be enough for what we wanted to do. So, all right, bear with me while I get the roof on this, and then we'll start working on some redstone. Okay, so now we've got the roof all laid out here, and you can see everything's down below. So basically, with us coming out 15 blocks here at the actual points on this, the lighting is actually going to be below 8 lighting, so they'll be able to spawn. And I think it actually shows up as about a 6 light factor, so spawning won't be an issue. The next thing we need to do is we need to set up the footprint for where we're going to be putting the redstone stuff. So we're just going to come out 6 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And we're going to come back the same here. And then 6 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Wrap this around. Now I'm going to go and grab some redstone bits to be able to trigger this on and off. So I'm going to just fly down, fly back up, and we'll have some redstone. Alright, so now that I've got my redstone bits, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to throw down a comparator. That comparator is going to be right there. And then right next to that comparator, we're going to grab a block. And on that block, we are going to put a lever. right on that. This gives us the ability to turn off and on the farm at will, so that we don't have to worry about mob spawning and stuff like that, or just continually redstone ticking away here. So next thing is change this into subtract mode. Once that's all in subtract mode, then we can go through, we're going to lay out 24 repeaters. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Turn around and go back the other way. And right over top of the dispenser, the whole works. So we'll just quickly throw those all down. So that's 24 of them all in place. And then we are going to just throw down some redstone here, and then a couple of pieces of redstone right here. Perfect. So basically what this does is when you turn it on, it starts a redstone timer, and I'm actually going to shut that off because I forgot to do one thing. What you've got to do is actually bump all of these up to 4 ticks, because you want this timer to be running long enough that the mobs have a chance to spawn before the water triggers through. So we're just going to quickly run along here and make sure these are all set to 4 ticks, and you get every single one of them done, and then that just triggers this whole thing to run nice and smoothly, and you get enough time for mobs to spawn before the water triggers and forces the mobs to drop down. Okay, so now that this is all set up, we can have a look over the edge here. We can see right now the platforms are set for mob spawning right now. Of course, we're pretty close to them, so the mobs are probably not going to spawn very frequently right now. But if we were to click this on, this starts the redstone clock that basically sets the timer, that basically launches the water and shoots it out at certain intervals. So right now it's doing a flood phase, and as we kind of fly around here and have a look, it should shut off here pretty quick. Let me shoot back out again. Now it's shut off. Mobs are spawning there, and you can see them all. The water just clicked back in, and if we look here now, let's get a better view. You can see the mobs all drop down, and now they've landed in the center, and they're falling down here. And we can watch them all drop to their doom right down here and land on this platform. So everything seems to be working in the kill platform. Every once in a while a little spider will get stuck up there, but as soon as it triggers and starts to flow again, you can see the mobs are dropping down and all of their goodies are getting sucked in here. So the next thing I'm actually going to add to this, just to kind of clean this up a little bit, is I'm going to put a glass tube that's going to go all the way up to the top of this, and it's just going to keep any little bits and pieces from falling out of there. I don't want to see any of it kind of land on the edge, and it's just going to clean it up a little bit more. So bear with me while I get that all set up in place. Alright guys, so I've completed the drop chamber tube underneath the mob farm. So now I've just got to finish building. Oh, hey, look, I just fell off the roof of that. I've got to finish building a way to be able to get up and down here. Probably for an elevator system. Oh, that was just fantastic. That's not a great little dive. I need to pay attention to my health. Oh, and my elytra is up here. Oh, that's going to suck to be able to get my stuff to be able to get back up here. Well, isn't that fun? Well, let me go grab some gear and see if I can get back up top here to gather all my stuff. Alright, I was able to go up top and gather up all my stuff, and since I had to pillar up with some white concrete, I decided to get started on building my elevator system to get up. And for this, I'm just going to be using scaffolding for being able to go up and down here. So we'll just start off with some scaffolding down here in the bottom and just start shooting that up. And then it's going to get all the way up to that section up there, and then we'll be able to build a little elevator platform to be able to get up to the AFK location. So I'm just going to keep slapping this together here, and I'll start building a tube around this to stay protected, and then I will finish up the elevator up to the top, and then we can do an AFK session and see how things go for this mob farm. Alrighty guys, there you have it. We have an elevator system going up to turn on the system, and then an elevator system going up to the AFK point. Let's fly over here and kind of have a quick look at what's in the boxes down here so far right now, so we get an idea of how much we've been able to accumulate just in the building process of this. And if we look here, well, there's a few little bits and pieces. So what I'm seeing out of all this is we've got some rotten flesh, we've got some bones, we've got some gunpowder. So all in all, I think things are working as well as could be expected. So I'm going to get this all geared up. We're going to do a half-hour AFK session, and then we will swing back down here and kind of see how well we ended up getting materials for it. So bear with while we do an AFK session, and then we'll come back and we'll have a look at it. Okay, so we just finished a half-hour AFK session, so now we're going to take our little elevator trip back down here, all the way back down to the bottom, and then we will shut off the farm on the way down off this first elevator. It's a long ways up. Total blocks, it's 120 blocks from ground level up to the AFK point, and it does take a little bit longer to kind of travel through the scaffolding elevators than it does to use water. And oh, I've got a mob up here. We got to figure out why he's up here. There's obviously something I need to, and he's like freaking out too. That was crazy. So somewhere on here he's able to spawn, which the only thing I could think is I don't know if they can climb up scaffolding. I don't think so. Oh, this is his spawn point right here. So we're going to have to get that lit up because I don't have that lit up yet. So that would have affected some things. So we're going to shut this off for right now, and then we're going to go all the way back down. I don't have any torches on me right now, but I will make sure that that gets lit up. And yeah, I think we did okay in the spawning section here. I noticed in the video or in the record session there that we were getting a couple of spiders were sticking in some places. It's not that big of a deal. Eventually they will fall down, and that's not going to affect the spawn rates that bad. So now that we're down onto the surface here, we're going to run over here and have a look and see how we did for materials out of this. So holy smokes, for half an hour we did really well. We've got like 5.5 stacks of gunpowder. Of course, we had a little bit to begin with. The same for the gunpowder, or the rotten flesh. Like, we even got a witch out of that. So we got a couple of glass bottles, some sugarcane, and some sticks. So even an occasional witch will spawn and drop in on this. That is fantastic. I think we did really, really well with this. We're going to have to get this now feeding into the auto sorter to start getting all of those materials auto-loaded into their locations where they belong. But I am like super pleased with how well that worked out. So there you go, guys. That's that's the basics of a super efficient mob grinder, mob farm, being able to get the materials we need. We're getting gunpowder, we're getting string, we're getting rotten flesh, we're getting bones for more bone meal. All in all, super pleased with how that turned out. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you reach down, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. We're sitting at about, for the people that watch my videos, it's about 68% of you are unsubscribed. So if you guys could reach over and click that subscribe button, it would be super appreciated. And then reach down, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, ring that notification bell so you can get notified every time I upload a video. With that said, you guys have a good one, and we will see you next time.